good at this hero. Would have been a real contender for MVP in Overwatch League Season 1. I'm sure he would have competed with Jake for that title.
I think so, honestly. Definitely would have thought so. 1Point doing a little bit of something different though. They are running the goats, of course. This time with Moira. No Zen to be found, as they want Moira in on the action. And they are a Super Fluke, no Orion to be had. It's going to be a Winston for the high ground control. Progi though, is going to be able to be protecting Zig with the Ashe. Does it like 1Point potentially deciding against it? Harness takes a lot of damage.
Ascov here is going to be recipient of the damage boost. Will be dealing a huge amount of damage here.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect.
I'm not sure if that was a headshot, man. That damage boost just body shot. Zig throws in the dynamite, doesn't manage to detonate it. Nice bio grenade actually on the corner there. Stops the healing from at least two members of HSL, 1Point there, sorry. And Zig is going to be able to use that coach gun also to actually get back on the high ground fairly easy. So here 1Point have opted to use for Moira because they want to have that additional healing. Zig, of course, like you said, coach gun up onto the high ground, a bit more of a mobile DPS when it comes to the hit scan players. And Sardis here laying down the trap right on top of Hidan. If they decide to jump onto this Ana, try and take advantage of it. Oh, that's a big dynamite. That's disgusting damage. They're all going to get pulled in as well. Zig is almost at Bob. 20% until we get to see our first Bob of the playoffs. Hopefully more.
Scalar almost has like coalescence though. There it is.
Oh, beautiful coach gun there. Zig a little bit less safe as Horthic's actually on the Genji. Now he kills him. Oh my goodness, 3% away he was from Bob. Horthic's going to dash on in, find 1 kill, and Hardest going to clean up the rest. Progi finds 1 in Hardest, but the problem is the rest of 1Point are on the point. Mercy with a small pistol can't do a whole lot of damage, so she ends up going down. 2 minutes 30 is going to change into something rather big for 1Point. Horthic's staying on the Genji too. He's very close to the blade, but he's going to be running head first into Bob.
Indeed he is, but 1Point there, very smart, coalesced alongside the coalescence onto one target. They had Super Fluke leap first to get the coach gun out of Zig. That means the mobility option was gone, and so was the knockback available for HSL. Progi here is going to be in the corner, doesn't want to be forced to relocate to contest for points. He was going to be on it to begin with. Zig is going to have to decide where to put Bob here, but now Super Fluke's taking a lot of damage. May have to put down that shield. There it is, no Primal Rage yet.
Bob can contest as well, so she can just send Bob onto the point. He's got a whole bunch of HP, and the only person that's going to be able to do reliable damage to him really is Horthic. He can throw a few shurikens in, obviously Bob being an immobile target with a large head hitbox. But the issue is, HSL have, look how many ults they have. They can even nano the Bob if they want to. Sardis with the Riptire as well. Again, Super Fluke jumps in, gets clipped to about 3rd HP, has to get straight back out.
Bob's controlling this space, was actually the recipient of the damage boost for a while. Can have the nano Bob, but of course it's going to be leaving now. Zig's going to have to build up towards that next one, but already 15% of the way there. That's an early headshot, and that's going to be getting him a lot of charge. In comes the dynamite, will blow it up.
That was pretty nice. Horthic got to be careful. Has got the blade. Coalescence comes out for Scalar. No nano boost for Horthic, but he's still going to try and make it work. Sleep Dart misses, but Sardis Tire definitely doesn't. Horthic's going to go down, but Ascov is going to fall as well. This is bad news for HSL as they've lost 3 members. Zig actually gets killed by a damage orb from the Moira, and now it's just Sardis trying to contest the point. Hardest finds the kill as Super Fluke pushing everybody away. 1 tick has been acquired as the respawns come in.
Horthic moved over to that emergency soldier, trying to sprint his way in. Ascov's trying to make his way to a point, but won't get there.
2 ticks into the 3rd as the Getter Mace finds the last kill with the self-destruct. Zig's Bob not doing all too much there, as we did see 1Point bait ult after ult after ult out of HSL.
So we haven't seen a huge amount of the Moira out of 1Point thus far. Do you think this is like one of their hidden draw cards? Because their engagements with the coalescence were so clean, they always knew exactly how to get the most out of that cone of effect, because it's very hard to try and maintain not only perfect positioning to deal damage with the coalescence, but also get the optimal healing, as well as have all of your players in the place to do that optimal damage and receive the healing. Coalescence can be so powerful if you're doing both damage and healing to so many people at the same time, and they were always able to make that happen. And part of that was because Progi on the Arisaki is very stationary. If he wants to stay behind that shield, Coalescence will rip right through that, and he can't really reposition the shield to stop himself from taking damage, because also Super Fluke can go through that. He can take a huge amount of pressure, and when you have such a long ultimate, you can have Progi basically affected by like the first few meters of Coalescence, and then push that through him towards an Ana as well, so that they have to take cover and they can't deliver the healing.
It's pretty scary when you're going against the Moira, especially when you're the Moira and you don't really have to worry about, oh, I need to swap to Zen because the enemy team's on the Zen. The amount of healing output, like you just mentioned, is just so great. Plus, your ult charges just so quickly that you can have that coalescence almost every single fight. 1Point doing the same thing as HSL here, actually running the Ashe on the high ground, along with Orisa, as Super Fluke is going to jump straight on that.
Now, I'm quick to tout, hardest used to be, or well, still is, a hit scan DPS. He sort of got pigeonholed into Xayah for a long time because he's super good at it, and of course it was the meta, but he's able to show off those chops once again. Zig going to be doing some scouting here on the Sombra. It doesn't look like he was sped out there by Askoff, so I imagine he will be returning to spawn rather quickly. Sardis here with the Symmetra. They're going to try and teleport up onto the Orisa. That could be incredibly huge. Question is, where's Horfit going to put that trap? Because they're going to try and impede the progress of Progi.
Well, they're going to want to teleport 2 places. There you go, straight behind them. They're going to run straight to the point also. A lot of damage incoming from Hortic though. They've got to be careful. Silas throws out the turrets up on the high ground so no one can really get them. Scalar going fairly low with Super Fluke. Does try and contest on the point but gets instantly killed. Shield tank down now for 1Point. Another person throwing themselves in to try and contest. It's all over. As Scalar and Hortic end up going down as well. A very, very quick cap from HSL. 1 team fight win is a 1-point cap for them. And Sardis sticking on this Symmetra potentially. He has 60% ult charge, Harry.
He does, and of course, let's talk 1.30 as well. There's a little bit of extra healing from Mercy and builds that Valkyrie quicker. And Gedame is going to be moving over onto the Wrecking Ball, but Sardis, he builds up that Photon Projectile about 20% more quickly than he would in a previous patch. Bob's going to be coming in.
Bob straight with the knock-up on the pillar, but look how much damage he's taking. He actually got a boot behind Progi's shield. Did take a lot of damage, however, so he's going to have to recharge it. Zig's going to be able to find the kill on Bob, and Hardest already up to 40, almost 50% now towards another one. Higher onto Zig, ends up finding the kill. 1Point now, just clean up crew as Askoff gets taken clean out of the air. 1Point still doing a fair bit of damage to the front line. Hardest up to 72% now as Askoff did end up going down. Sardis potentially sticking on this now as the Photon Barrier is available to him.
Indeed it is, and it will be great for trying to make sure Ashe is far less useful than she otherwise would be. Horthic on the Farah is a pretty interesting pick. There's not really much to deal with him on the side of HSL. Of course, Sardis and Zik, their beams are both technically hit scanned to have very limited range, I think about 15 meters each. And here, we do see support ultimate versus support ultimate. There will be the option for that overshield coming through from Askoff, but Horthic's got a great angle on them here.
Oh, this is perfect. Look, 70, 80, 90% now on the barrage, almost at 100 with that damage boost coming out from Fat. The self-destruct is launched up in the air and actually kills Get Amazed, but they still have a few ults to work with. A Transcendence used onto the point to try and find the resurrection. Horthic lays down the barrage, kills Progi, kills Sardis. There's no way you're going to be able to survive this one, unfortunately. Hidan, take 36, managed to take out Horthic, but spawn priority still in favor of 1Point. Mines will let down on the point too to try and secure the end of it all. Sardis still 50% on the sim. What if he's going to stick on this? I'm not sure he will. The hardest throwing out another Bob did get quickly dispatched with as well.
We're going to be seeing a 3-3 that's more suited towards dive here, except no, Sardis no longer wants to play on that Brigitte, instead going over to the Roadhog. This character was also affected by patch 1.30. It now has a bit of a quicker hooking time. It draws people in much more quickly, as well as a tighter spread on the shotgun, so you can deal with damage a little bit more reliably. And there's not so much random generation when it comes to your spread patterns. You can very much be more assured of the damage you're doing.
Oh, that's a lot of damage, plus the Discord Orb, plus the damage boost onto Hardest. There's the grab, the dynamite gets thrown in, but the beat is going to be good for HSL. They're on the point, still contesting, but Hardest left completely unmatched here. 90% now on towards another Bob. No one can touch him right now. They're not focusing him whatsoever, and he's just getting free ult charge. Bob straight onto the point, aimed at the pillar, so he is going to be able to contest as well as dish out a whole bunch of damage. A Transcendence to actually keep the Bob alive, as well as that Mercy ultimate too. HSL have no choice but to back off for the time.
Bit of Omnic on Omnic love right there from Scalar, keeping his big Omnic Butler counterpart nice and healed up with a Transcendence, and Horthic's ready once again with a barrage. And when you're looking at these assault match draws, you need clean team wipes, and guess what? Horthic, he does 4,000 damage with barrage, 40 damage per rocket, 100 of them. He can do even more damage when he has that damage boost as well. We'll do about 5,200, so he can pick off one person. This could already be over for HSL.
Hardest does have the ultimate though, Harry. That's what I'm pretty scared of. Self-destruct launched up in the air. Scalar dash behind the boxes. Fat's already dead. No damage boost available for 1Point now. Get Amaze has got the mines, and there is the whole hog, pushing everybody off the point to hopefully secure at least a tick. Area gets denied as Get Amaze finds 2 kills. Thank you very much. Sardis does make quick work of him, however. It's an even trade, but that does work in the favor of 1Point. They are going to be able to secure at least 1 tick, but the spawn's now through for 1Point.
Indeed, Holfit coming in from behind, did manage to pick up Hadan. That's a whole lot less healing available, so Quick falling low won't get away.
Problem is though, 3 tanks on the point, Harry, and Silas still has that self-heal. Askoff is now joining the fray as there's Bob finally comes in, but the B gets laid down to make sure they survive. The barrier actually being used by Zik there to absorb so much of that damage from Bob.
Run, Askoff, run.
Well, they're going to give him an emergency Doomfist, mate. Hardest is going to be able to kill off Sardis, and that will be OnePoint finally securing the team fight. HSL still backing off. We've got a couple of minutes to work with, but they have secured at least 2 ticks.
That they have, and can we start to just call Get Amazed a demolitions expert? Because it seems like whenever he has an explosive ultimate on side, he will just get 2 kills, and I think that's for most kills I've seen get simultaneously given from a minefield when it comes to the Wrecking Ball, although we haven't seen that much. Horthic is still on the Farah here, and Hardest almost has yet another Bob. He's building up his ultimate so quickly.
There you go, he's got it. The grab on top of the pillars. He's going to find one, Harry. He's going to find the Farah. Tech 36 makes easy work with it. Dynamo gets thrown out. Tech 36 burning a whole bunch, so he's going to have to back off. 100 damage on the burn, of course. Tech 36 now gets displaced. Hardest displacing himself with that coach gun. Yet another kill for Hardest. The spy is popping off. Askoff finds a return kill on Super Blue, but the problem is, once again, the problem lies with Hardest. No one is able to touch it.
Yeah, the second that they do, Fat's right there with the 50 HPS, and if he has the Valkyrie active at 60 HPS with that Caduceus Beam, along with the split, which means if people come back to peel for him, they're also getting healed. They're also getting damage boost as well. Hardest has yet another Bob ready to throw out. Likely we're going to see it move on to these pillars again. This seems to be the optimal place to put Bob, so that you know that he's going to be in a place to contest. There's the Bob.
He's going to contest, and he's going to do a whole bunch of damage. Self-destruct thrown in. Horthic running away to make sure he doesn't get killed. Bob took a lot of damage, but he's still alive, Harry. Transcendence to heal him up. There we go. Who needs anything more than Hardest? Bob as he takes out Zik. 1 minute now remains for HSL as they're going to have to go again. They do have 3 ults, so they've almost got a grab, but you have to kill Hardest. No one's committing too well to him at all. Progi jumped in, Harry, received a bubble, but like you mentioned, there was too much healing on the side at OnePoint to actually make a dent in it.
And the second you go in deep, Scales over Discord Orb as well. Askoff picking up a headshot from long range will be claimed for damage boost. When it comes to those headshots, absolutely huge, and Hardest almost has yet another bomb, 86%. Oh my god, will he actually have it before then? Oh, yep,
yes,
there it is.
There it is.
God damn it, Bob's just working overtime right now. I hope he's getting a bonus from OnePoint. Vinny pays well.
Vinny pays extremely well. Oh, Hardest almost going down to the right click. It's the only thing that's doing damage to him right now is Hadan's right click and those orbs of destruction. Uh-oh.
Is it going to be the one making the dive?
Rally coming in. They're going to be extremely hardy now in the face of Horthic. However, he gets taken out by Hadan's right click himself. Progi finding one as well. Hardest eventually dead. Fat's going to fall. There we go. This is the opening. HSL were looking for. Graviton Surge into the side. Getamaze throws out the mines, but quickly killed off. HSL managed to complete with a more
overtime
than a minute.
Exactly. That's exactly what they needed. If it went into overtime, there was no way that they could win this. They had to hope for a draw, but now they will get the courtesy minute. But when you get those extra 51 seconds, Jaws, so do OnePoint. So look at that time bank. 5 minutes and 36 seconds. This is a tall order for HSL. But they claimed first point rather quickly last time, but their ingenious Symmetra tactics weren't really waylaid by the OnePoint defense. And you can see Hardest is actually sticking to the Ashe here, and I'd say that Hardest is probably one of the most effective members of that defense. He was building up Bob so quickly, but no, back to the Zaya.
Yeah, well,
I guess it's a comfy armchair of a
Fun's over, boys. Fun's over. That is unfortunate. Hardest had a Bob every fight. How can you justify that? Please just let him play Ashe. That's what he's saying right now in comms. I can guarantee you that. Just let him play Ashe, guys. I've got a Bob every fight. Let's go Goats Ashe, but someone else play the Zaya. Just, you know, it's fine. Get amazed. We know you love the self-destructs, but just play this so I can play my Bob, please.
Oh, Get amazed. I think he just loves anything to do with explosives.
He really does. I'm not really sure how. Just how. He's so good with
I want to see Get amazed play some Farah, bring out those rockets.
Yeah, I mean,
or Junkrat. I don't know.
Horthic, stand aside. I'm the explosive.
Step aside, son.
Well, HSL going to do a bit more scouting. You're going to have to be honest with you. They're going to spot it is 3-3, and I'm going to curious what they're going to run. Are they just going to run 3-3 into it? Obviously, they're going to have to be able to at least predict Scalar running on the Moira here. Although now the time is ticked over to 15 seconds, they're going to know exactly that. So running on more of their own. No, there's Zenyatta though, so they want a very, very quick and clean fight.
A third of their time bank has already been depleted, soon to be half. OnePoint don't want to give him any room to maneuver here. Hardest straight up at the top will be using his personal barrier. He's now going to be a primary target, won't be able to defend himself. He's going to have to rely on his team to do that for him, but Askov needs some defending himself.
The over-aggression is in the nature of OnePoint this time. It does pay off with Hardest though, with Askov going down, as well as Tech 36 Mech getting destroyed. 15 seconds remain. They have to make this stand right here, right now, or they have to defend against 5 minutes and 36 seconds.
He's going for a point.
He's trying. Nope. Denied. Thank you very much, Bardic Riot. 3 seconds even. Ticks over to 0. And now HSL have the tallest mountain to climb. 5 minutes and 36 seconds for 33% of point A.
They've got to play for that draw. If they can't get the draw, it will be match point in favor of 1 point, or in this case 2 points. Question is, what kind of defense will we see coming out here? HSL before, of course, did bring out the Junkrat and the Ash, but for now, looks like they're going to be hovering over those classic 3-3 heroes, and there's not too much time to assemble your heroes in the extra rounds of assault maps, because of course we did see the time reduced to try and make it so that these maps were a little bit more expedient. When there was a whole 48 seconds of select your heroes, they did become rather long time-wise when you were going to multiple rounds. So
that was my get a drink time.
Yep, get a drink.
Get a drink, a little bit of snack.
Select your beverage.
Select your beverage, select your hero, and then you can just get right into game. 30 seconds remain there, Harry. This will be 1 point. They only need, you know, one attack. It is only 33%, of course. Assault maps do end rather quickly, especially on first point. If you're not careful, you lose one member, that's pretty much it. The snowball really is in effect as the spawn point is just so far away from you. HSL running with the Zenyatta. Goats, however.
Here they are, 1 point, currently hovering over that Winston. I'd love to see a little bit more of his dive. I like seeing Superblue on other heroes, and for Reinhardt, we know that he's got an incredibly good Winston if he wants to use it. And Horthic right now, hovering with the Genji, he was the one who managed to take out Zik's Ash beforehand.
Oh, he's like, nope. Horthic just dashed straight up. I love seeing the trail, when you're looking at a Genji, the trail away. It's like, absolutely not. Don't want to mess with that.
That's a hard pass from me.
Yeah, Horthic, there you go. He's like, yeah, I can't really play Genji right now. I'm just going to go on the Brig. Brig prison, unfortunately, for Horthic right now. Although he did get to play a little bit of Genji throughout the season, but that's what DPS players do now, Harry.
They make the sacrifices for all of us to give the healing that we need.
That's true. And that's just spark when you play Doomfist.
That was a great boot right there on Superblue from Askov. Horthic's going to be the one who goes down first, however.
Rogy's going to fall too, so actually 1-for-1 right now. Superblue's going to go down. I take that back completely. Still, with 4 minutes and 40 seconds though, 1 point still a lot to work with. Can really just work up towards ults here, Harry. They could just wait for Hardest to get that grab, throw it in, and then hopefully just find the combination, then just unlock the door.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be a quick commute back. Progi is going to be sped boost in by Askov, but it does mean that aggressive positioning here cannot be used for HSL, and this means 1 point could potentially get onto the point before they have to take a fight, and if they can force HSL to back off, they can get that tick rather easily. 3 of them already starting to accrue percentage.
Oh, Horthic going really low. They've got to be careful. Superbluke with that Shadow's got it online before Progi. Progi's only at 80%, 92. There's the Shadow. Hits 4. Progi's going to go down. Superbluke gets shield bash, but it doesn't matter. A Transcendence to end it all potentially. Hidan finally got his online as well as that rally going off. HSL making sure they just stick on the point. The problem is there's way too much damage and way too little health on every single member. The grab gets thrown in, catches Askov mid-air. 1 point, find the 33% they needed. No emergency Doomfist for you, and 1 point will end up on match point in the series.
A little bit of an early armor pack there coming through from Sardis onto Progi, and it took a little bit of damage. I would have liked to have seen saving that armor pack until there was more aggression being shown by 1 point, because what they saw was, they saw Progi hanging out on the corner with his shield, like, okay, I'm going to contest this point, and then like, armor pack thrown in, like,
uh-oh. We got
so,
no heals.
I guess you don't have any burst heals then.
Yeah.
How
delightful.
How wonderful.
Says Superbluke as he lands a 3-man shatter. That's been the tale of this game, honestly. It has been Progi against Superbluke. Normally we do look at the Xayah players and say, wow, like Hardest is it's popping off yet again. What a surprise. But it has been the focus and the aggression from Superbluke, just running into Progi time after time and just putting pressure on that shield too, making sure Progi can't really can't really take it away to make sure he can do damage to build up towards those shadows. Even Superpluke at the end, he switched on the Ryan late. He was Winston for the first minute of the game, and he still managed to get the shadow first.
Yeah, but we did see a couple of counterplays coming out from HSL to try and make it a little bit more even. We saw a great engagement from Askoff moving in from high ground, getting in behind Superpluke and booping him forward so that he was in a really bad position. That forced Horthic forward to try and support him. They managed to pick off Horthic. So some great setup plays there from Lucio's, but unfortunately wasn't quite what was going to happen when everyone got onto the point. And that's what happens when you have to bring someone back and you can't be aggressive because Progi was dead.
With that titanic time bank, One.PoinT are able to secure that map and match point in the series. We're going to jump to a quick break. Map number 4 coming on your screens very soon. Yes, from people like Hurricane as well. On Route 66, did run triple DPS with Farah and Sombra, so that was a rather nice surprise. One.PoinT say nah, none of that. They're going to run 3-3 with Moira, of course.
They know what they're about.
Zenyatta. Of course, exactly. There was no way they were going to run Ashe, I don't think. The nice couple of sightlines. Problem is the tank's just too good in these tight corridors. And hardest, you can get as many bobs as you like, but that HP on the bob's going to delete pretty quickly.
But you can tell that they know that they're probably going to be up against some tanks because they're running Scalar out of a Moira once again. They want that additional healing. They don't care about the Discord Orb, which is so vitally important for taking care of tanks because you need that extra 30% damage. But when you have a Moira, you can just charge into squishy heroes and have enough healing to make it work. But here, HSL, they see that they're up against a Moira and they're like, oh, we'll just swap to Zengos because that wins. I was like,
5 DPS and a Zen solo heal?
Progi's like, I can aim, guys.
I've got this, boys.
It's me when I'm on my plat account. I can aim, guys.
You see me hitting these flame strikes, dude? I'm so good. HSL are going to be able to win out the war of attrition. No war of attrition needed, though, as Superpluke does end up just getting booped straight off the edge by Sardis. That'll be the rest of the members being quickly killed. That's a very odd situation, but again, over-aggression, laying down the shield, and you got a problem as soon as you get booped over. Instantly killed, and a lot of ult charge has been granted for Sardis now. 70% on that rally already.
Scalar going to have the easiest swap to his life over to the Zen. Doesn't want to be dealing with the Coalescence building anymore. Instead, Discord Orb's going to be what puts Progi in a spot of bother, but there, having the advantage of the Discord Orb versus the greater healing of the Moira really managed to win that one out easily for HSL. It was basically a free point there, and One.PoinT maybe having the misstep of bringing out the Moira on the defense when the opposing team can swap so easily.
Well, now look at the ult economy advantage for HSL. Hidan's got 63%, Scalar's only on 35. There's the rally keeping Progi alive. He's got the shatter, hits the floor. One down, it's only Horthic though. He does get that charge in, but a beautiful counter charge on Superpluke, but instantly gets killed as Zik was 100 energy. Speaking about energy, a Graviton Surge gets thrown out and a Transcendence to match. However, issue is there's no damage follow-up on the side of One.PoinT. Hardest, you may have the best grabs in EU. Problem is, as soon as Superpluke is dead, there's no real damage follow-up to actually be had, and HSL will end up securing second.
Love to see Superpluke looking ready at the moment, maybe to go for an engage. Nope, it will be a long-range fire strike there from Progi, trying to cheekily build himself some ult charge. Of course, he did invest that Earth Shatter in the last fight. Superpluke a little bit behind, will have to take a couple more hits before he can use that ultimate himself. But Get Amazed here does match Tech 36 when it comes to these self-destructs. And in these tiny caverns, they may not be as effective because you can move away from them rather easily.
Scalar's managed to get himself a Transcendence, thankfully. There's the grab, gets thrown in. Trance to match. Self-destruct on top of your head. Shield gets removed. Almost perfect. Superpluke does end up falling, however, to the self-destruct. The hammer did strike the fall by Progi, but actually Get Amazed was able to 1v1 him, or at least for the moment. He does manage to take out Scalar. And now the rest of HSL just going to be able to reconvene on this point. Capping this second was pretty easy for them, and spawn point's fairly close as well. One.PoinT didn't invest too much. Only the Transcendence was used.
Yeah, Progi there losing his nerve a little bit. Did lay down a solo shatter onto Get Amazed, but quickly turned onto Scalar instead, deciding that's where he wanted to focus his efforts. And now there is going to be some armor available for both teams. Horthic and Sardis both have the rallies available, but for now, it does look like One.PoinT going to try and make more engagement. Hardest almost has the Graviton. There's the slam.
Oh, what a shatter, and Horthic finds Askoff as well. The charge from Progi is completely denied. As Superpluke swings for the fences, gets himself a triple kill. Thank you very much, HSL, for the ult charge. They go back all the way to spawn, and that'll be HSL. With a couple of support ultimates available, Harry, but look at One.PoinT. They got 2 support ults and hardest grab, as well as that also beautiful deep.
Well, speaking of ults that are available, let's look at the ones that are not. Progi there didn't get anything done over the course of that fight. He's only 30% off from where he was farming last fight as well, because he was targeted so heavily there by One.PoinT. Hardest way to lay down this Graviton, trying to make his way around that defense metrics, will be knocked off.
Oh, that Graviton Surge is still managing to connect. Self-destruct coming in. There's the kill, at least on
Nox getting maced off the side.
Okay, I was wondering what happened there. Tech 36 mech gets destroyed. There's the Shatter. Sardist is going to use the rally at the end. Doesn't matter though, because Super Bluke's there with the charge onto Pruggy as well. Managed to find the Flame Strike kill. 25% ult charge, however. They still have that Transcendence to work with. HSL did invest a lot into that fight as well. 2 support ultimates were used to try and distract everybody from One.PoinT from swinging into that grab.
Scaler does have a Transcendence available. It's the only ultimate that's left for One.PoinT right here. And HSL, they're going to have a lot of tools to try and force it out. We may see a rather aggressive engagement to try and make sure that that Transcendence is used before some of the ultimates come out, or Zik can force it, of course, with the Graviton Surge. Progi also in a second is going to have yet another Earth Shadow throw out, but we know how quickly Super Fluke can get these, and thus far, Slam Shadows haven't been going well for HSL. It doesn't seem like they're so coordinated when it comes to trying to lay these down.
They swap sides, One.PoinT now, next to that cart, just watching it go back. Oh, that's pretty big though. Sedan's going to take out Scaler too. That'll be a kill for Sardis, even as he does swing in, kill Super Fluke. Finally, Pruggy earning himself a shatter, as the rest of One.PoinT do end up dying on the cart. But because the cart was in, well, I guess, technically possession by One.PoinT there, it did actually move back a fair few meters. So HSL are going to have to regain that.
Okay, so I want to see where Sardis positions himself for this next fight, because like I said in the setup for the last one, the Slam Shatters from HSL have been weak. Sardis hasn't been able to hit those shield bashes as often as we'd like, and for now he's right next to Progi. We're going to be trying to play a little bit more defensively. Look at Holt coming around the back, a little bit of a scout. Can we see the slam that we want to stun Super Fluke?
Oh, Scaler was so scared there. You saw the stun actually landing on Super Fluke, had to activate the Transcendence. Self-destruct in the air, kills Hardest, was almost near that grab as well. At one point, they're going to have to win the fight right here, right now. The slam hits the floor as the self-destruct was thrown up, but Progi had a better slam this time. The sound barrier is going to be used to mitigate all that damage, but Super Fluke is still going to fall. Same with Horthig. That 1 minute will turn into a little bit something extra, as HSL should be able to cap the point now.
2.5 minutes probably going to be on the clock. I know it's just 2 minutes. They're now down to 30 seconds. But what was actually really cool there was that Sardis actually just continually smacked Super Fluke with that shield bash. Like you said, it scared out a Transcendence. They kept doing the shield bash, but without the shatter. And when Super Fluke thought, okay, there's no shield bash available now because I've just been stunned twice and they didn't shatter, that's when Progi laid it down. He managed to catch people by surprise. It's the mind game. They're metagaming the metagame to try and hit those. It's risky, but it worked out this time.
Head hurts a little bit, Harry, not going to lie. There's the grab on the cart. Horthig's dead. Super Fluke is going to join him if he's not careful. There's the slam, instantly whip-shotted as well. Askov's going to finish him off with a couple of left clicks. Now we HSL still moving forward. Don't lose the armor. Oh my goodness, that was close. He lost 5 armor, Harry.
5 armor, that's a very important number of armors.
Armors, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's how it works.
That's going to be getting Hardest away, and that means Hardest is actually going to maintain this energy, and that's super important because it means he can throw that energy into the Graviton Surge, which he has ready. Super Fluke can throw that in as well. HSL can answer with 2 support ultimates, maybe 3 as well, but which one? It's going to be the Transcendence coming up first. There's the self-destruct.
On top of the cart, you're not going to be able to pin Progi. He was actually in the air. There's no way you're going to be able to touch him. The sound barrier to stop the damage coming through onto Progi. He's so low. They're still marching forward. Horthig finds the kill with the shield bash. Still, they're finding kills somehow. A self-destruct is launched in. Hidan and Zik are able to just corner Hardest and Horthig. They end up taking him down, and regardless of Progi's health bar, they still manage to win the fight.
A perfect rotation of ultimates, no pin available onto Progi. They use the Transcendence against the grab. The slam came down, but then there was the sound barrier too. Askov making sure he wasn't caught. The Super Fluke's going to be caught out next here. Oh, the caught first Zik! Or the defense matrix!
He got it, and the slam's going to hit the ground too. Super Fluke, Horthig, Hardest, they're already dead. He doesn't need the Graviton Surge, Harry. HSL find the quickest team fight we've seen today. They complete round 1 with sub 1 minute.
Who needs a Graviton Surge, dude? Getamace was like, okay, Super Fluke, you're going out alone, but don't worry, I'll bathe you in the defense matrix. Hopefully you'll survive longer. And he managed to catch himself a Graviton Surge as well. Red Zik like a book, but HSL, we're not deterred. We managed to get that through. 9.4 seconds, not the fastest time bank, but a completion is a completion.
It'll do.
I think that might actually be the exact same time that they got on Horizon Lunar Colony for their completion.
Testing my memory now. I don't like it.
To be fair, I don't know how much time they had left because obviously it just goes to 1 minute.
We'll watch the VODs.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We'll study.
We'll watch the VODs. It's a nice game of Hearthstone. I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm always curious if the bottom left, you can see the bottom left name there. If no one's played Hearthstone before, that is your name of your B tag. I wonder if that's one of the developers. I can imagine it is.
Yeah.
I imagine it is. He's not doing very well, though. That's what I can say. Unlucky. Probably should have taken a better screenshot. Or the victory screen or something.
I haven't played Hearthstone, so I don't know what constitutes a win.
You kill the other person.
Wow,
reduce their health to 0.
That's a very aggressive card game. Usually you just send them to the Shadow Realm or something, or like take their Pokemon Poké Dollars, but...
You saying that's not... You saying... Okay, so the Shadow Realm constitutes you being trapped there for eternity, right?
Yeah.
What's better, you dying or being trapped in the Shadow Realm for eternity?
I think we're getting a bit too deep into philosophy right here.
So, Magic the Gathering is a pretty good game as well.
Like, it depends if you believe in the afterlife, I guess. Are you trapped in the afterlife for eternity? Could the Shadow Realm be the afterlife, Jules?
Is it like the Toon World? Is what I'm asking you.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know either. And watch you again a long time, unfortunately.
What I do know is that both these teams can be rolling out on the 3-3, will be mirror compositions and Yadas on both sides. No Moira shenanigans this time around. Tech going to be laying in a couple of those fusion cannon bullets, and there is going to be a quick rotation from One.PoinT trying to pin HSL against their own spawn.
That's a lot of tasty headshots. That's a lot of tasty kills for that. Gets the boot on Tech36 off the edge, my son. Askov's going to go down as well. Thank you very much. One.PoinT going to secure the car and secure the team fight. Thank you for the ult charge too. 60% already on the Lucio. Not bad, not bad.
The highest in the lobby right now is Fat. Go Fat. Good job.
So double boop on Askov. Gets the kill, I think, instantly on him. And then obviously boop Tech36's mech off the face of the earth.
Look how aggressive Hardest is here, and he can be that aggressive because Fat's there with him with the speed boost is able to... Oh, that could be bad. He's been caught out. He does...
Oh, no, he got
that was not the jump!
Perfect. Askov got behind him, managed to boot him straight back into the dumpster, and that's where he will stay. Getamaze going very low as well as HSL are going to be able to control the team fight now. No more can One.PoinT push forward. Super well, but he did earn himself an ult in the process.
See, this is why when you parkour, you generally face in the direction that you're running, because parkouring backwards can make you slip up, do something embarrassing. I don't think in real life you can actually feed that much, but in this case, maybe just a little.
Maybe just a little. You fed a lot of ult charge. Progy's got himself a Shadow, and Zig's got himself a grab. There's the Shadow. Hits one. Only Diva, though. Getamaze can't use that self-destruct, unfortunately. Takes a lot of damage, too, forcing out that sound barrier. As they do end up getting onto that car. Another shield bash onto Progy to make sure he pays for every single step he takes. A Transcendence to stop that damage coming through on the grab. Zig is still fairly high charge, though, and still trying to earn himself something more. 33%, almost 40 there. There you go, on the ult charge for another grab. But One.PoinT do eventually win the team fight.
HSL will have 4 ultimates ready for the next fight, though, including that rally. But One.PoinT basically still have a rally active. Scalar and Hardest still have the armor under their shields. Hardest will give himself a little bit of extra energy, which he can use, of course, to carve into the forthcoming Graviton Surge, which he has a massive premium on Zik at the moment. Zik was well ahead in terms of ultimate charge, but because of the counterplay of One.PoinT, couldn't really get anything off it.
We do have 2 tank ults, 3 tank ults. I apologize. As Getamaze obviously does have his self-destruct. Kind of curious if he just throws it in here. Like I mentioned before, Harry, on Horizon, they do. If someone does make a mistake, if a Earth Shatter is eaten, then it's pretty easy for them to just throw another ult in. Tech36 goes down to the ground, but so does that beat. Uh-oh, hard. Hidan even taking out Super Poke. Shield Bash, Discord Orb, a couple of headshots. Easy kill onto the Reinhardt. HSL now are going to be able to control this cart. Can't go back too much, Harry. The doors cannot reopen, so they're not going to get too much value on the cart, just slowly making its way back.
Bending but not breaking our HSL. Askov answering that slam very well with the sound barrier and making sure that there was still enough left to really facilitate some aggression. Progy's moving down to the ground. We're going to open up with a Graviton Surge.
Nice grab, nice grab. Hardest going down, extremely low. There was no Transcendence there to stop all that damage. So HSL going to be able to quickly win that team fight with only 1 ultimate used. They weren't actually being aggressive either, Harry. Weren't actually just camping the card at all. HSL prefer the high ground, it seems, over anything else.
There's actually some great shield work there from Progy. We saw Sardis go down as he stunned himself against Super Fluke to make sure that both of them were mutually stunned. But what actually happened was that when he went down, Progy was actually rotating his shield around him to make sure that no one could lay down what they needed in terms of damage. Here comes the Graviton Surge. It could potentially be answered to self-destruct.
Up in the air. Getamaze finds one. Tech36 finds the other. That is 2 Brigittas now down. 1 for each side. Froggy still has the slam, and the beat is going to be used before that. Oh, the slam hits, but I think it's too little too late. The beat was still there, Harry. The health was diminishing, but they were still able to keep alive. Hardest ends up going down to Zeke, who's going to be able to scurry away with his energy.
And that's very important. Hardest going down there means he will not have the rollover energy from that fight to bring into the next one. So he and Zik will be on equal footing, except when it comes to the ultimate charge. Zik also still has a little bit of armor. You can see that tiny sliver there in the middle of his health bar. He's got maybe 2 or 3, but that means all of his shield will have armor mitigation damage status on it.
It's a good time for Zik, that is for sure. All those health bars just going so low. The Shad didn't really hit anybody, but they were still managed to pin them against the wall. Tech36 mech not long for this world, as 1.0 do lose 1 member in Super Pluke, but should be able to clean the rest of them up. At 1 minute and 50 seconds, going to get turned into something juicy. That'll be 2 minutes, and Maths is back.
3 minutes and 16 seconds.
3 minutes and 15 seconds, Harry. Wow, look at that. Maths is pretty good after all.
That's some quick maths right there, Jules. Proud of you. HSL now. Let's have some more quick maths. 3 ultimates available, almost 4. Hit down almost there with the Transcendence. But the question is, where are they going to put them? Zik does have that Graviton Surge ready to go, but Hardest could strike first. Both the Graviton Surges can also be eaten. We've seen plenty of that occur, but not this one. Hardest striking first.
Nice Graviton Surge onto the side. They are going to get moved away. A Transcendence in the end there. They've got to be careful though, as that self-destruct was launched to the back line. Absorbed was all that damage by Zeke, who's now 100 energy. Problem is, he can't use any of it. Super Pluke was round the corner as Progi got isolated completely. He was playing a little bit too scared, could not mash his Zaya. No shields are available, and 1.0 are going to be able to just take this one fairly easily. Super Pluke earning himself a shatter as well, and now it's just a rolling of tank ultimates to try and make it to that 3rd point.
And like you said there, Zik throwing that Graviton Surge around the corner meant that there was no real way to combine it with Tech36's self-destruct. It would have been hard to angle that way, especially with how much coverage Super Pluke could get with that shield. Not only that, maybe Tech36 didn't have the boosters available to throw it in. Progi's going to try and make a last stand. A great shield from Zik, making sure no one goes down to that combination. And that's going to halt the momentum of 1.0.
Double shields used, perfect play by Zik. There's the sound barrier, self-destruct get launched in, but look at 1.0, straight on top of the spawn almost. Progi goes down, self-destruct from Get Amazed. Felt like he just need to remech it all honesty. There's 2 members left on the point. 10-player kill streak for Hardest as well. He's got the grab, he's got the time. 1 minute and 30 seconds remain and only a couple of meters to go.
There's the Graviton Surge, not going to be able to touch the cart, lads. The last defender's going to go down.
Meters ticked 0. 1.0 managed to complete the round. Above a minute does mean obviously rounding up for HSL. They will get a minute in their time bank. However, 1.0 with a decisive finish at the end.
You know when you see those like memes where you just see like calculating in people's minds? That's what happened there for 1.0. We saw a big pause. They went for the bash. They went for the shatter. There were 2 shields and no one went down. Like, calculating. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We speed boost forward, and we absolutely massacre Progi. Doesn't matter that you're not stunned. We're going to get some more ult charge by just slamming into you. They decided the best course of action there was to make sure the momentum was stopped for about a second, but they brought it back. They slammed forward into Progi, and HSL thought that they'd sort of stabilized, but they weren't ready for that huge aggression that often... Like, you don't expect that because Progi had the Shatter in that instance, and when you're up against a Shatter and you don't have one, especially when there's no chance of you getting the Shatter because you just use yours, that's when you're being more cautious of Ryan. That's when you're being, let's say, the Beta Ryan versus the Alpha Ryan. You've got to be a lot more cautious with your shield because you can very much expose your team. So you don't expect the enemy to be so aggressive, and that's what caught Progi and HSL off guard.
As soon as you have bubble advantage, you're not going to put up that shield if you're Super Pluke. You know Hardest has your back. 1 minute is what HSL are fighting with right now versus 2 minutes and 19 seconds. They're going to roll out the gate with 3-3, but 1.0, they're going to match him in the field.
They do actually have, once again, the Moira. I'm not a fan of this because we talked about before HSL, they could easily swap. You bring out the Moira when you're expecting to go up against DPS because you have the high healing ability, but they don't have that Discord orb anymore, which means that Progi, he's basically safe. This is free for him.
This is perfect, though. They need to win a fight extremely quickly, and that's exactly what they did. Getama's spec went extremely low, but the healing output from Moira saved him. Not for long, though, with Super Fluke. Discord Orb, extra 30% damage was easily killed off, but 30 seconds were burnt by One.PoinT. Remember, Harry, this is match point for them as well. HSL, they need to be able to push this as far as possible, then defend against 2-minute 19. Scaler has switched over to Zen. This could be the last fight.
So Blue, at least, having been healed that much, could swing for offenses. 86% of the way to a Shatter, so is Progi. This next fight will be determined by the Reinhardts. It's going to be all about who can get the Bash Shatter combo. Thus far, One.PoinT have been supremely better at it, but there's always been an answer from HSL. Can Sardis make this work? He's coming in from right hand side. There was a shield. He didn't get stunned. It was a mix.
How? How did he shield it? I just do not know. Holt goes down, however, and a transcendence for HSL. The self-destruct gets launched in by Tech36 as well, forcing back Super Fluke. He can't protect the rest of his team as Fad and Scaler go down. HSL continue their push.
Hardest there managed to save Super Fluke from an incoming bash from Sardis. It was telegraphed in Hardest's eyes so well, but we did see a clutch pin. Progi managed to get Hardest and take him down. And look, Progi's built up so much more ult charge. He's almost got yet another one. We're going to be seeing a grab out from Zik. We're going to be seeing the armor come through from both the Brigaders. But the huge advantage is for Sound Barrier from Askov. They can win the next fight rather easily if they aggress and manage to hit strike well while Hardest does not have his own grab.
They got to play One.PoinT at their own game. One.PoinT is so aggro, they want to play up in your face. HSL not really normally like that. Over the season, we've seen them play a little bit more defensively, waiting for teams to come to them.
Make a mistake.
Making sure they can capitalize on those mistakes, Harry.
Indeed they can. There's the Graviton Surge. We're going to make use of defensive self-destruct as a question, but not this time.
Ruggy's going to take out Super Fluke. One grab thrown in, as well as that rally being used by HSL. One.PoinT know they only need one fight, banking their ultimates to cash out later.
Still, Zik, good value there, managing to catch both Hardest and Super Fluke. If you take out that front line, you're only going up against some supports and a diva. They're not really going to be able to do much against your 6-man moving forward. But here, Hidan, I don't know where I want to see him. Can he be a little bit less aggressive maybe? Will he have to be hitting those orbs? He needs to try and play a delicate game. One.PoinT going to try and make the engagement here. Tech needs to get the hell out of there.
There's the rally. The Shatter is going to go down. The perfect beat, though, to stop that damage coming through. Still, the rally comes out. The bomb in the air. Getama's. They need to remove that shield. It's going to get boomed. Progi's dead. Sardis is going to go down. A victory Shatter, it seems. Haskov just taking one man after the other. Manages to kill Super Fluke. Couldn't receive the Transcendence healing. And it is now One.PoinT trying to find the cleanup.
HSL can still make this work, but we've got to stay on the cart jaws. Overtime's in session. It will tick down so fast as the Graviton Surge.
They grabbed them off the cart and the ballers come back. Sardis switching over to the emergency wrecking ball and they still manage to demec. Get amazed. Hidan and Sardis, the heroes for HSL, managed to get back on the cart and Tech36 finds a double kill with a self-destruct. Progi is going to fall, but Scaler is one lone Zen against the world. Sardis jumping in on the wrecking ball, just up in the faces of One.PoinT who have no healing left.
Tech is going to be the one to tank this. Will be losing his mech, and Sardis went down as well. Super Fluke's still here, but there's another sound barrier from Askov.
Askov comes in with the beat on Tech36. He almost gets the remake, but Super Fluke makes sure he does not. He manages to find another kill in Askov, and the heals are coming back.
They're not there.
The Z9 from HSL can't quite get back to the cart. Askov was so close to saving the team with the beat, but still they managed to get a point in 80 meters.
And that was about 10 meters more than they should have gotten if One.PoinT could have closed that out a little bit harder with those 6 ultimates. HSL bringing in the brawl, making sure that One.PoinT's plan wasn't what occurred. Everyone's got a plan, Jaws, until they're punched in the face, and everyone's got a plan until basically you only get one kill off of the combo that you wanted to work out. You were going for that charge, and you're going for that grab, going for self-destruct as well, but that's twice now. We've actually seen a mistake from Hardest of putting the grab onto the cart, because that means that Super Fluke, when he's on the ground, he can't hit the charge he wants onto Progi, and then it has to be Fat who picks up the slack. He managed to do it that time. He managed to boot Progi up into the air so that his shield was actually around the self-destruct. It kept everyone else safe, but Progi went down in that case, and that was really the opening that was required, but it wasn't as decisive as it needed to be, and meant HSL could get a few more meters, and those may be crucial in this overtime push.
2 minutes and 19 seconds. They have double the time bank that HSL had. Now they're on the defense, but they're not making that mistake, I would say, that One.PoinT made. They are running the Zenyatta, not the Moira on the defense now.
They gave up that first fight twice for free by running the Moira, thinking they might go up against DPS, and it's just too risky. When people can just go back into spawn and swap, they know they get a free win. If there's Zenyatta versus Moira, it's not worth it.
You have to find and end the fights extremely quickly if you have that Moira. It's not something they were able to do. Uh-oh, sick! I think he potentially got booped off the edge. That's one boop. As Asgoff finds the super fluke. However, very quick spawns, and Proggy is going to go down as well. Asgoff doing a lot of damage, however, still on the cart, making sure One.PoinT pay for literally everything. Hidan finds another one there. Actually, they're turning this one around. HSL actually, they lose the initial couple of members, but still managing to find the first fight.
As a Reinhardt player, I know exactly what went through Superfluke's mind the second he pressed shift. He was like,
I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Happens, man.
This is over. But HSL did back off. They lost a couple of members, don't want to take an undermanned fight. They are going to take one out of a cave with control of that large health pack.
Beautiful speed boost. Look now, One.PoinT are split up. Scalar was completely isolated in the back line of HSL, and Asgoff finds the kill. Graviton Surge gets thrown out. They got no self-destruct, and Hidan with the perfect Transcendence timing in order to win this fight out. Superfluke with the Shadow, but they're still battling against the Transcendence. Tech 36 ends up falling, as well as Horthick finding the kill onto Sardis. Superfluke focused out once again with the orbs of Hidan, but Scalar, cleanup crew, taking out Proggy and Asgoff. This will be One.PoinT securing the fight, but half their time back now disappearing right in front of their eyes.
Yeah, half their time bank already gone, and they've just won what is basically one fight. But Hardest has another Graviton Surge. Let me remind you, he opened up that last fight with a Graviton Surge. Now he's 13% away from his next one. The cleanup definitely in his favor. They're trying this again. Hardest needs to be careful with his parkour back off, because remember what happened last time. He managed to throw himself down into a ditch and get caught out. But HSL going to take a different approach this time, just moving straight on into the road.
There's the grab. It's on the wall this time. Can't combine it with a self-destruct if it goes over the barrier. Might not be even needed, though. Superfluke finds the charge kill. Even finds himself another also. One.PoinT continue to march forward. They should be able to secure the second point, but overtime is 15 seconds away.
Overtime is 15 seconds away, and HSL understand what they need to do. They let One.PoinT use their Graviton Surge there as well as that self-destruct, because guess what? HSL are still building up towards his ultimates. They've almost got all three of their tank ultimates. They can guarantee themselves potentially a fight win here. And in overtime, you only need one fight win. You need to get them off the cart, and that's it. You don't even need to kill everybody, Jaws.
One.PoinT are on match point. HSL could tie them up. The open division into trials, into contenders playoff. These could be the heroes that they need. Well, they could be the heroes that everybody needs. The shadow hits straight into Superfluke's shield. There's the grab coming out from HSL. Sardis is going to go down, but Tech 36 self-destruct gets deleted. There's no follow-up from that as a Transcendence desperation from HSL. Sardis still dead. It is a 5v6. The hammer from Proggy did manage to find Scalar, but Superfluke ends his life quick sharp. Tech 36 still buying some more time as Zik comes back to the fight and ends up finding two. And now Fat's going to go down as well. Hang on a second. OT's there. Superfluke's dead. Zik finds the fourth kill. It is just Get Amazed on the cart, and he's going to get demeched. HSL are going to tie up the series against One.PoinT.
And that was the brawl, Jaws. I talked about it on the second point in overtime as well. They make sure the plans, everything crumbles around HSL. Everyone's got a plan when they go on safari. We're going to have a wonderful holiday, have a look at some lions. We're going to be absolutely safe inside the Jeep. But guess what? The lion's in the Jeep now. It's 2-2, and the next match will determine who's going forward to our semi-finals.
Vinny's long trench coat and hat looking a bit worse for wear right now. 2-2. Remember, the format is best of, well, first of three even. So there is going to be the tiebreaker match coming up right now. We're going to jump over to the panel. They're going to break down those previous two games some more. You got homework to do, Harry. You got a lot of homework to do. The three movies of The Godfather. They are spectacular, honestly. Anyway, this is a spectacular match too. Vinny on One.PoinT versus the Tiger. Clothes look a bit ripped and teared, yes, but the Tiger's got a few scars as well.
That's a lion, Jaws.
That's a lion, yes. It's not a tiger, you're correct. Stop it, Harry.
Zoology, not your strong suit, but luckily both of these teams have the strong suit of the 3-3. Hidan already falling low. Could be Scalar throwing out a couple of those ores, but look at this aggression from One.PoinT straight into the midst of HSL, but they're getting punished once again.
Nice shield bash onto Superfluke, sends him extremely low, but look, Tech 36 actually wrapping around, getting so much damage and so much value from the thrusters. Going to be able to get out alive alive as well. Horthic caught in the wrong place, the wrong time, didn't have the backup of his Diva or his Xayah. However, doesn't seem to matter at all as GetAmazed is going to find himself a nice couple of kills. Zick has got 40% on the ult charge, yes. Hardest though with 66% and the cap for 1 as well.
Bit of a piecemeal engage there for HSL. Managed to catch out Horthic, and I think in the comms they just called, oh, we got a pick, go, go, go. And Zick stayed up top while Progi went down to the bottom. So you didn't really have that tank line moving as well. Progi got picked up on his own. Zick couldn't do anything. He was basically just shattering some glass with his particle cannon. That was a poor engage from HSL. They squandered the advantage that they had.
Hardest now 95% on that grab. Zick a little bit farther behind. Progi has got that shadow online as well very soon. Scaler has the advantage in his ult also with the Transcendence.
He will. Progi ready to lay down that shadow. He's going to try and come in from behind, maybe.
Oh, death from above, but he gets snuffed out rather quickly. There's the grab. The shadow hits the floor. No follow-up damage from Hardest as he does get shattered. A Transcendence from Scaler as he jumps straight on top of the grab. The Beast's going to have to get laid down as well as a self-destruct in the air. Doesn't do all much of anything as Progi was able to deflect it from the rest of his team. Superblue still has his shatter, but the rest of his team are falling around him. He ends up going down to Sans. He finds himself a double kill. HSL are going to be able to recap.
Good job there from Progi to make sure that Hardest couldn't follow up using that slam. Hardest already 75% of the way to his next Graviton Surge throw, and Progi was a little bit unlucky there. He thought maybe he could catch Fat as well with the wide cone of effect of the Earth Shadow, but some good evasion there from Fat made sure he didn't go down. But unfortunately, 1 just couldn't win out. They managed to use both of their support ultimates there to answer various calls to action, but unfortunately, HSL brawling out a little bit harder, and now Progi's ready to lay down the hammer again.
Oh, nice shatter in the back line. Has to block the self-destruct. Pay attention! Doesn't quite do it. There's the beat from HSL as well. They're going to march on forward. Hidan's going to find a kill onto the mech and onto Hardest too. Now they have a lot of ults to work with as well. They do have that grab which they can swing into, plus the trance, plus the rally. 1 have only got that grab coming online soon.
That was really cool as well. Hidan got his grab and then, rather got the Transcendence and then took his orb off of Progi so that Askov could squeeze every last little bit of healing ultimate juice out of healing up the remainder of Progi's health. And now they've got a Transcendence ready to go. Progi's falling so low, this could be forcing it out.
Nice grab on the corner. They got no support ultimate to follow up. However, both Reinhardt's going to go down. That rally is going to be extremely useful now for HSL. Another rally coming out, this time on the side of Horthic. Askov falling. He's not going to receive any of that armor. And that Transcendence as well as Fat just dives straight on top of Zick. Gives him the melee. Sends him back to spawn. Hardest with that Graviton Surge for the next fight as 1 swarm the point.
I do not understand Hidan's usage of the Transcendence here. He didn't use it to save Progi. He didn't use it to counter the enemy Transcendence when they were in a position where they could win the fight, but he used it when there were like 3 people around him. So that was really some poor value coming out of that ultimate when he had it since the beginning of that fight. And not only that, it means for Scaler, after his Transcendence had stopped, he could continue cleaning up that fight and getting extra ult charge. So really, Hidan, that one's your fault, I'm afraid.
Fortunately so. Progi does have that shadow though, Harry. 1 has that grab. They throw it on top of that tree and Askov's going to be the main recipient of all that damage. There's the self-destruct. There's the kills. 5 for GetAmazed. 85% on the board as well. HSL get team wiped, and 1 could potentially end it right here, right now, as they move up to the spawn.
That's about as clean as it gets. 7 seconds to reach a point. It's going to have to be Askov. He's already caught out.
There was no way he was going to get back. Those thrusters being used as well. 100% for 1. Didn't even need to use the beat or the shatter. The perfect bomb from GetAmazed, sealing the deal. And now HSL, they need to pull it back. They are 2 rounds away from knocking out 1, but 1 needs to secure this single point.
You can see why Frog is so popular in French cuisine when you see how Lucio got roasted by the French core of 1. We're moving over to Mega Base, and this is where we often see either a Mei or the 3-3. Mei popularized here, of course, by Windstrike, by Kenzie. You'll be seeing them tomorrow going up against Angry Titans, but here it looks like Zick may well be the one who is utilizing the climatologist herself.
Well, now they gotta just sustain against the 1 point aggression. That's what's winning in these fights, Harry. HSL, like we mentioned before, little bit more paced out. They love to just make sure they can capitalize on the mistakes of the enemy team. Zik's gonna try and get a wall off here. He does manage to do it, but Superpook doesn't get pinned. He's gonna be able to just dodge around it. Goes extremely low, but armor pack used him to keep himself alive.
Some good slowing coming through here from Zik. Not the ideal wall, however, just walling his own team away, maybe saving him from a little bit of incoming damage. Holt falling incredibly low, and Zik hitting Icicle after Icicle. Protects the first one to go.
I don't know about that, dude. Oh, nice headshot, though. Horthic actually gets an Icicle straight through the brain. That'll be HSL. They lose to Progi, though. This is going to be the big problem here. However, freezing to hardest Discord orb and a couple of orbs as well from here. Dan actually kills him off. So actually, right now, they may have lost their main tank, but they're going to have spawn advantage as hardest was taken out last.
1 point still in control. It will be Tech36 who's going to be playing on the Zarya. No Diva to be seen right here.
Oh, Super Luke went in. Harry, Super Luke went in, get instantly shield bash, got sent to the fort, and Progi wasn't there actually to use that shift into him. It was actually the Brigitte that did it, meant he can just swing away. He's got himself an Earth Shatter now as well, and we almost have that Blizzard available too.
Yeah, look at the composition that HSL have. You cannot afford to charge here. You'll get walled, you'll get frozen, you'll get shield bashed, you'll get booped. There is so much control, you cannot afford to charge. And now HSL are in a position they want to be. They're here being defensive with the May.
Nice wall, and the rally's going to be used in kind. The shatter on the floor to stop the incoming damage. The Transcendence as well, but the big bomb from Getamaze finds 3. Ascot, Progi, and Zik. They're going to go down. Blizzard wasn't available, but it will be for the next fight. 1 point are going to recap.
Well, it was a huge investment from 1 point. They didn't want to try and go into this defensive May again, because this is where May is a little bit weaker when you're on the offense. Maybe you can try and catch out Superpook, punish some mistakes. That's what we said HSL are all about. And there it is! Punish him!
Punish the over-aggression from Hardest, but somehow he's still alive. Receives the armor pack as well as all that healing. The beast's going to come out, and the Graviton Surge straight into the Snow Globe. Also, no shield for Super Blue available, but it doesn't matter. The micro missiles were already going off and kills Progi. Finally, Zik finds 2 kills with the headshots and the icicles. 50% on the board for 1 point, and a rally to surge HSL forward. They're going to be able to find the recap, but that was a very expensive fight.
I do not know how Hardest survived that. He's back again, and for now, it does look like 1 point are ready to try and contest here. Superpook's going to get frozen up.
They're still going to gain some extra time here. In fact, an additional 15% was acquired after that fight just through stalling.
And once again, this is where you want to be with the May. We talked about it before. You want to be on the defense. It was a good engagement from 1 point last time. They had a lot of ults to try and back it up. This time, they won't have that Graviton. They will have the Earth Shatter. They will have the self-destruct, but can they get the engagement they want? They're trying to duke it out at the moment, try and confuse Zik.
Zik doesn't know where they're coming from. They're coming from the underground. Perfect. Now they're on the point. They just need to isolate and wall off a couple of members. They're going to be able to do so, but that Shatter in kind is going to set Tech and Progi reeling. A Transcendence not quite enough to sustain him through that Shatter. You can see Zik just trying to get that Ice Cannon off, trying to get a couple of members frozen, but the problem is the rest of the team is going to go down. Still 65% has been acquired from HSL. 1 point, they're going to clean them up, and they're going to control the point for now.
The scouting just wasn't good enough from HSL. They didn't know where 1 point were going to be coming from, and that meant they couldn't get that wall when it was needed. And now Getamaze, once again, has the self-destruct ready to go, but Tech has the Graviton Surge. Won't be able to combine it with a Blizzard until Zik hits a couple more Icicles, so that combo won't be available. Instead, HSL moving straight onto the point. This could be where 1 point takes the entire series.
The grab at the back and the self-destruct as well doesn't get blocked up. The shield gets deleted. Hardest finds 3 kills and 90% now on the board for 1 point. This is the last fight potentially for the semi-finals. HSL can't get back. A team wipe for 1 point, able to take Busan, and they're going straight to semis.
Was much closer than 1 point would have wanted in a first seed versus 4th seed match, and HSL definitely proved they have the grit to be coming back and potentially making their way through trials to come back for our 2019 season. But 1 point, they can savor their victory, they can breathe easy for just a moment because they don't have long to prepare for those semi-finals.
HSL have made such a run, like you mentioned, from Open Division all the way through Trials. Weren't technically supposed to be in Contenders, but they have made the run all the way to playoffs. And now 1 point with that victory, they're going to march on forward. Now can sit back, relax, just for a moment as they can watch the rest of the games today.
Exhale. Exhale. It was so much more sweaty than they would have liked, especially on Route 66. That really was a game of inches, and Eventually, it was HSL who took that one out, but Busan, it seems like control is really where One.PoinT thrive. And let's talk about the format of our playoffs for a second. There are so many control maps in it if you get towards those later rounds. You get to the 5th map, that's control. First map is control. You go to tiebreakers after the control, it's control, control, control. And if that's where you're excelling, it's definitely in your favor.
Well, with that, we'll see who One.PoinT will be facing. Of course, Giganti and Hurricane are coming up a little bit later. We're going to jump over to the desk. They're going to break down that epic series a little bit more.